Hey you guys, my name is Taquisha. This is Our Freedom Song. I am growing in South Carolina in zone 8B. The high for today is 89 degrees Fahrenheit. Yes, y'all, it is hot out here. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, which isn't the greatest time to be in the garden. But you know, when you work and you have other responsibilities, you have to get it in when you can get it in. So for those of you who are new here, we started gardening April 2022. April 2022, and started with zero experience in about a 10 by 20 foot space, so very small space. Had no idea what I was doing, but I knew I wanted to do it, and y'all, the rest is history. We are now gardening in a space that's about 1/15 of an acre. It's about a fenced-in space of 3,000 square feet, but that also includes our greenhouse and that includes our garden shed, which we built. The greenhouse, if you haven't seen or heard the story, the frame is about 90% all reclaimed wood. We use reclaimed windows. It's such a great story. So I would definitely encourage you to watch that if you are looking for inspiration on just how things could really come from nothing. Nothing but a dream. So if you are just starting off, I hope that you will be inspired here. I hope that I can encourage you to just start. Like, wherever you are, just start, because you can learn as you go. That's exactly what I did. I learned as I went, and I've gained so much knowledge. So not only has the garden grew exponentially, but I have grown as a gardener, and have learned so much along the way. And you aren't stuck in a box. There are things that you can be gung-ho about right now, and as you grow and learn about plants and soil health and all the things, you have permission to change your mind and to get better. But the best thing for you to do is absolutely just start. So at this point, our garden is pretty much a raised container garden, a raised bed garden. We didn't start off that way, and there were several reasons why I definitely want to go raised bed, but I understand both. We've done both, and so this is what I decided was best for us. But there are so many different ways that you can actually garden. I love vertical gardening, which is why I used raised beds. I use GREENSTAK. We use file cabinet planters. Listen, it doesn't have to just be something that's going to cost you a lot. It can be things that you flip, or if you have any ingenuity at all, you can make a garden bed out of pretty much anything. Up here in the front of our house, for example, we have file cabinet planters, and I made a video about just how I made these. Do it yourself, very simple. And listen, these planters have definitely stood the test of time. They are here to stay. They are doing fantastic. I know I get questions about how are they now, after being used for 3 years, and y'all, they are holding up so good. So up here, I really love to plant mint and lemon balm. These two things up here do so well that I've dedicated this space, because once you plant mint somewhere, you just gonna want to keep it a mint bed. And so but I absolutely love it. I have so many different varieties of mint growing up here, and it loves it. It's a good space for it to be able to grow, and I don't have to worry about it spreading its seed into the regular garden bed. So it's definitely separate from the rest of the garden, but it is a beautiful sight, so wonderful to see, and it actually produces so much. So it's very prolific. The thing about mint that's so wonderful is it is cut and come again. So you clip it back, it will grow back, and it will grow back bigger and better than ever. And so that is definitely something as a beginner gardener that I didn't realize. The more I cut, the more it grows. And so definitely cut that mint, even if it's small. Cut it, prune those top leaves, and continue to watch your mint grow. I also love lemon balm. Like, this lemon balm just comes back on its own, y'all. Like, it is massive and it is so beautiful, and I absolutely love it.
And here is what the file cabinet planters and mint and lemon balm look like after a huge haircut.
So I did grab a basket because I saw some things and I figured I could harvest while I'm going and showing you guys. But inside this basket, we harvested 3 panty pan. We harvested 3 patty pans, this little baby pumpkin. It just kind of fell off, but it's like a mini pumpkin, so I don't know how big it's supposed to be. Maybe it's supposed to be this big. I'm not really sure. I've never grown mini pumpkins before, but it's super cute. And some cucumbers. And we also harvested so many green beans. This is probably about 4 pounds of green beans. So far we've harvested, so that's about 10 pounds altogether. And so that's exciting for green beans, but I do see some cucumbers. Wait, here's one as well. So this is the Suyo long cucumber, and I am going to harvest this. I am really a fan of the Asian type of cucumbers that just has those really, really delicious bitter-free cucumbers that are they have the thinnest skin on them. I just really love that. Oh my goodness, like, these leaves are massive. So another one of the things that I've done this year that's a first is planting so many different winter squash, y'all. And I have learned a lot so far. I'm glad that I did it because I am learning a lot. So I started the process with wanting to protect the base, because if you're new to gardening, there is this pest, and it is a pest. And it's called the vine borer. And what it does is it lays its eggs. It just gets to the bottom stem of your squash plant, and it lays its eggs in there. It hatches, and these little maggot-like worms eat the inside of that stem, and so it destroys your plant. And so I was thinking, I'm going to protect the bottom of the plant. But what I learned just yesterday is they can actually bore 12 to 18 inches above the base of the plant. I could not believe it. I could not believe it. I'm definitely going to show you guys because I was blown away. Check this out though. Look at all of those beautiful squashes and squash vines over that arch trellis. Like, that is absolutely gorgeous. So although I wanted to avoid having our plants destroyed by the borer, I am learning a lot. There are actually some varieties that aren't being attacked. There are some varieties that all of them are being attacked, and not just summer squash varieties. So summer squash, forget about it, they're being attacked. But there are some of these winter squash varieties that's not getting bored. So this plant, for example, this is called the red Cory, and you could see the stem right here. It looks like it wanted to get bored, but it didn't. Nothing happened to it, and I have lots of this fruit on this trellis. It's actually the only fruit on this trellis. This is what it looks like. Right now it's still orange. It is going to turn a red orange color, but we have this one. We have 3 of these growing that are a pretty good size so far on this trellis. That one up there is like the closest to being ready to harvest, because it is, you could see the lines on it, and it is a darker orange color. But when we look on this other side, you can clearly see that this squash was bored, and it wasn't at the base of the plant. It is a lot further up, but it's still trying to grow. It is still trying to grow. It's looking very green still, but the one next to it is not. Like, look, you can see how dead it looks, but this one got it right at the base of the plant, and it is just torn up. So I don't think that one's gonna make it. Now that I'm taking a closer look, I actually do see some damage on this quarry. That kind of looks like it's been bored further up on that stem, which would make sense because back here I'm seeing some leaves that are like really dead, and it looks like it got bored right there because the leaf that's attached to that is starting to die. But overall, the fruit that this is producing, I would say, is one of the top amounts that any of the squash, and they were all planted at the same time. Unfortunately, I don't know what this squash is because the tags got washed away. Like, they're there, but the words on them got washed away. So if you have a amazing pen that you use for your tags, please share it because we all want to know. We're tired of writing in all these tags and they just are washing away. Like, what is our effort? What is our effort? And this squash right here is climbing on the light, and so I'm gonna have to completely take this off because this light string is not going to be able to hold all of this weight. It is wrapped around there for dear life, but I could see that it also got bored right there. So although that is very disappointing to see how far up the borers will go, I don't feel like it was a waste of my time. I mean, these vines are absolutely beautiful and it's what I envisioned in this space, and I'm learning so much. Like, I wouldn't take so much time trying to cover the bases of plants if I know that the insect is just going to go further up, which I did not know. I didn't know that at all. I did get the vine off of this and I did try to weave it in here, and it'll catch on, but this is such a beautiful space. This one is a really cool squash. I don't think it's going to grow much bigger than that. The borer bored all the way up it. Let me tell you, the borer did not leave any space for this fruit to recuperate. As you can see, it's like at every turn there is evidence all the way down the stem, all the way to the base. And so even no matter what I would have done, it could bore, because this is hard with this specific squash, and so this is what they're looking for. And so I'm just going to wait until, I heard that how you know it's ready is when you wait until the tendrils are kind of like turning brown, then you know to harvest it. I don't think that's going to grow anymore though. Same for this one and this other little one right here. Okay, so moving on to this butternut squash, y'all. There is zero, it's dying back for whatever reason, but there are zero vine borers evidence on this plant. Like, this will be the first one so far that I've not seen any vine borer, and I'm gonna keep looking, but I just don't see any. So I'm on the outside of the fence because there are fruit on the outside as well. So one of the things that I've noticed with some of the other fruit that I'll get to and show you guys is I'm noticing that these fruit are getting damaged by some type of bug that like drills into it, and then all of the flesh is like pouring out. That's how you know it's not any good anymore. And they went into this, but this is a young fruit and it's not doing it to this. Maybe because it's so hard, but it's not even getting the small ones, which I think is so interesting, because on the other plants at this point, if a plant, if it's fruiting and it has a little baby squash like that, it gets attacked like almost immediately. And so I'm going to show y'all a prime example of that. But this butternut squash, y'all, Waltham butternut squash, is definitely a winner. I've been trying to get this back over the fence, but I think I'm gonna have to get a ladder. But oh my goodness, there's so much fruit on this. I'm so happy. So this plant currently has 1, 2, 3, I believe it's 7 butternut squashes growing on them for the win. So I saw a cucumber in here, and this would be the first of this type that I've tasted. This is called the Bet or Bait Alpha. I'm probably saying that all wrong, but I've actually never tasted this cucumber, so I'm really excited about trying this. So excited to see this, y'all. We actually have cantaloupe growing. I spot one right there, as well as right down there as well, which is just so fun. Oh my goodness. So this squash vine right here is the one that I squished yesterday. So the same thing has happened with this plant. So it is at least 18 inches, but I can see the worm. Let's see if I can get close enough for you to see it. Ain't that wild? You see him just up in there moving around. Look at it. Because I just gently pulled on where it was open. Well, started to have the stuff out, and I could see the worm, y'all. But it's way up the plant. It's crazy. I'm trying to squish it with my scissors. It's so gross. I just stabbed it, y'all. I squished one of the worms because this little thing was so like about to break off. I let it snap down. I touched it, snap down, and the worm was just sticking out of it, looking at me, y'all. It was looking at me. And this right here, this is the beautiful squash that is attached to this vine. It's called Lakota squash. And it looks like we are just going to get one. But like I said at the beginning, if I can only get one, I'll be happy. It will re-up me because some of these squash seeds were so expensive. And so I'm just like, if I can just get one and taste it to see how we like it, as well as try to save the seeds, that would be amazing. I actually see another one growing back there, y'all. We got two. Look, right through the fence. So that's two. I have lots of tomatoes growing in this bed, and it's looking crazy because I need to come over here and prune it like ASAP. But right now we're concentrating on these beautiful melons right here, which has never happened, y'all. It's such a, oh my goodness, I'm so excited about it. So that tendril on that actually looks dry. So I wonder if that's ready to harvest. I really wonder. I'm gonna have to do some research to see when I'm supposed to harvest this. And this one is called, there's a big old ant pile, so I can't reach my hand in there to get the tag. So I don't remember the variety. I know it's not the Hale's Best. It's something else. And so I need to look that up because that might be ready. I'm also starting to see eggplant emerge, y'all. This white Casper eggplant that I've just been so excited about. I cannot wait to taste that. It's just so pretty. I love it. It looks so cool. So lots of basil in this bed. Going to see lots of these beautiful asters. This is just such a pretty bed. I mean, besides all of those tomatoes back there in that jungle that are looking crazy. I even got a dahlia. Some dahlias growing in this bed as well, which is fun. I actually see a good bit of pepper. Ooh, did I just walk into a spider web? I see a good bit of peppers that are ready as well. I see a red one. Cool, beautiful. So many things are leaned over like this, y'all, because we've had torrential rain. Like when I tell you it's been raining like crazy, it's supposed to rain again today, but we've had days upon days upon days of rain, which is great because the garden is getting all of that wonderful rain. But when it's not great is that whenever your tomato plants are being just destroyed, when you live in a very humid place. It's been very warm and humid, and then with that rain, it's just screaming disease. So I came out yesterday. Look at how beautiful this is. I get so distracted. This is our beautiful straw flower. Oh my goodness, that is absolutely stunning. I came out yesterday and, ooh, that bee, look at it. Look at it doing its thing. Take a moment to appreciate that. As I was saying, I came out yesterday and I had to prune like crazy. I had to prune a lot, and I also had to stake up a lot because things are just falling over. And so I really had to do a lot of that yesterday. It was necessary work. Also had about 3 wardrobe changes, and I thought I was going to be cute out here and free and not hot by having on a dress, but then mosquitoes came out, and so that was short-lived. But we also got and when I say we, I mean my daughters got the garden shed cleaned out, which was huge because we had just been like about that stacking stuff in there, y'all. It was a whole mess and a half, and now it's so much better. Here's some beautiful peppers. These are really beautiful. I see some down here that are red. I really want to get them. Well, we got one yellow bell pepper and one little mini red one. It's not getting much sun at this point, tucked away, and it's laying on the ground, so I want to go ahead and get that. But these are still upright, so I'm going to leave those. It's starting to rain, y'all. It's starting to rain right now. But as you can see, we do have lots of peppers. We're going to have such a great pepper harvest soon. I'm excited about that. The last time I harvested green beans, we actually canned them, and so this time I'm going to be freezing a good bit of them. This is our thornless blackberry, and it has decided to grow. I want to train it up this trellis. Y'all see this corn bed? We got to come back to that. We got to talk about that a different day because I can't. I cannot with that. I am disappointed. Okay, this is so cute. Look at this little pepper, and I can't even get down to the tag to see what that is, but that is adorable. I'm absolutely loving how beautiful this scene is right here. It's my favorite. Right now, this is like the shot. All of these marigolds are not only absolutely stunning, but the smell. It smells amazing. Asparagus long beans, y'all. They are so beautiful. Look at them. So last year, you know, I had these growing in the garden up on the trellises, and they were like my favorite thing to see walking into the garden just because they're just so beautiful. That rich burgundy color. And so now that they're growing right here, I'm like, how fun. Like, how fun are these? If I'm having to talk a little louder, it's because it's starting to rain. But I see a tomato. See, some of these tomatoes are starting to fall off, and I'm just going to get them. Let's go ahead and put that in. I see one down there. Ooh, this rain is kind of cold. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no bugs got it. I'm gonna have to run for shelter in a minute. Oh my goodness. Hopefully we can make it to the other side of the garden. I don't know. I might have to finish talking about this later. Part 1, part 2. We'll wait and we'll see. I remember growing up, I heard the craziest thing that I couldn't unhear until I became an adult and actually thought about it. But it was like some crazy thing that said, "Is that somebody bringing me an umbrella?" Somebody's bringing me an umbrella. It was like whenever it's raining, when it's raining and the sun is out, the devil's beating his wife. And we used to believe that, like the stuff that older people was telling us that was true. That's oh my goodness, that's so far from the truth. Did you hear any crazy things like that growing up? Like, I would love to hear it. Thank you. Okay, we're umbrellaed, y'all. Oh my goodness, but this umbrella is definitely not gonna fit through here. Okay, there's actually a break in the rain, so let's keep going. So there's one little squash over there that it's called, what is that one called? I'm gonna have to get closer. So there's one squash right over there that's the Tahinian melon. It's supposed to be a lot bigger than that. Like, it's supposed to get huge, but I do believe it has stopped growing because the tendrils around it have shriveled up. And so I'm thinking that I'm going to need to go ahead and just harvest that. It does have an ant pile as well. I need to see if, like, what happened. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it got destroyed by a borer or if it's just something just happened with the plant. Maybe, I don't know. But I have to investigate more. This is artesian bumblebee. And I know that I kept saying I needed to clarify. I need to take this moment to clarify. So this is one of my favorite tomatoes, but I confused this one with the sunrise bumblebee tomato. That is my #1 favorite cherry. But this one is really good as well. To come over yesterday and put a bamboo stake inside of this bed, another one inside of this bed for this borage. It is getting so tall, but because of all the rain, it was just laying all the way to the ground. And so I staked it up, hoping that, you know, it can bounce back. But I do see a tomato back there. This is aroma. This plant is loaded. It is loaded. So there are a couple more squash that I want to show you. So I'm gonna stop harvesting. Well, wait. You know, these GREENSTAK beauties have all these delicious tomatoes in there. Okay, I'm gonna stop. My goodness, there's so many tomatoes in here. I have to harvest these because, especially with the rain coming on and off like this, they'll split. So I'm gonna harvest. Okay, so actually there are 3. This is the bed that has such bad ants in it, but look at this beauty. It's so beautiful. This plant has definitely been compromised in multiple spots along the vine by the borers. But this fruit right here is still growing. It's currently the only one of its kind on this vine. The whole vine just looks like it's been attacked, like really, really bad. And so this may be the only chance for me to get actual fruit. So next up, I've shown you guys this one before. This is the green striped cushaw. So the thing about this one is it did really, really well because a couple of them grew to this size, like a big enough size, before whatever bug that is that drills into them could affect it. But every new cushaw gets attacked by the bug, and I'm going to show you, because just yesterday the one that's right next to it was absolutely fine, and today it's been damaged. So that's what it looks like. It's been drilled into, and it has some type of goop. Let me just pull it off. Can you see it has like some type of jelly-like substance that actually looks like a pile of eggs or something? But as you can see, there's a hole right above it, so something drilled into it. But yeah, that's what it looks like. That's so gross. I'm just gonna throw this to the chickens. But whenever it gets this size, it's still vulnerable enough to be damaged. But we do still have 2 that have gone unscathed, and I think that's what we're going to get from this plant, because everything else that grows gets damaged pretty much right away. And the last one that I want to show you guys is right over here. Can you see it? I was shocked. I was shocked yesterday because it's been hiding. I did not even notice it was there. I kept checking. You know, it was like my favorite plant because it had these big, beautiful leaves. Y'all, look at this. Talk about where is Waldo. Look how humongous. That's as big as my forearm, y'all. Look, it starts right here and it goes to there, and it's nuzzled right here. Like, it has so much support. I'm like, that is amazing. That is so amazing, and I'm so excited about it. Oh my goodness. To walk away with a squash that's this big. It's starting to turn green. So I'm just blown away. So to recap, my hair's coming down, y'all, because I was running from a bee, or maybe it was a wasp. My definites that's going back on this list is going to be the butternut squash. It is going to be the long D nice, because although it's only produced this one, it's gorgeous, and it's not being attacked by the vine borer. There's no evidence of vine borer at all on this plant, so it could just be a thing of female flowers to male flowers. And then I would say actually that I would grow this green cushaw again, because although it's being attacked by something, it's not the vine borer. The vine borers aren't boring into the plant, and so I think that makes it high up on my list. Maybe it's just something that needs to be covered as soon as it starts to grow, right, to protect it from the whatever bug it is that's drilling into here. That's what I'm thinking. But I would definitely grow, and I will be growing those 3 again if they pass the taste test. Of course, that's going to be another deciding factor. I know the butternut squash will, because it's butternut squash, like, it's delicious. But I've never tried long de nice or a green cushaw, so that's definitely going to play into that as well. Thank you guys so much for joining me with this amazing harvest while just exploring all of the different squash. I appreciate you guys so much for joining me in the garden today. Until next time, friends.